Okay, so for those of you that don't follow us on Facebook, you probably don't know this young lady. For those of you that do follow us on Facebook, you know that this is by far one of the hardest working patriots in New York State. She travels from the western part of the state all over New York State, mostly with 3 kids.
That's right.
She works her butt off. And she's actually thinking about running for the state senate position in her district. If you don't think you have time, think about it again after you meet this young lady. Gia Arnold, please come on.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having me. I'm Gia Arnold. I'm one of the state coordinators in New York Revolution. I live over in Holly, New York, which is between Rochester and Buffalo. I was never really politically active before the SAFE Act was passed, and after that, I voted.
What did you say?
Unsafe.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not here to talk to you about the Unsafe Act particularly. More so I wanted to share a story with you that I had. I've been meeting a lot of people going back and forth across the state, whether I met them personally or I've become friends with them online. And this story happens to be about a friend that I met on Facebook, and I'm going to call him A. And A is a huge supporter of NYR and all that we do, and he believes in everything. And he'll Facebook message me and tell me what a great job we're doing. And I'll say, hey, when are you going to come to a meeting? Oh, I'm going to come to the next meeting. Well, he doesn't show up, and he messages me again, I'm sorry, you know, my wife is afraid that if I go to your meeting, I'm going to be targeted. I'll get a target on my back. And I said, what do you think we do at these meetings? What does your wife think we do? I said, we have a potluck dinner, we have all the kids running around, and we talk about how we're going to get people registered to vote and active. I said, you're not going to get a target on your back coming to our meetings. But I started thinking about that, and the conversations that I have with him, and why he never shows up to our meetings. And I realized that it's fear. And fear is holding a lot of people back. And what is the fear of? Is it the fear of losing their comfort and security, their comfortable life that they live, and it's easy for them to support us and believe in what we do, but not actually do anything about it? And I started thinking about all the people I've been meeting, traveling across the state. We've got the 3% of the population in New York State. Those would be us up here, speaking out to you. Those would be the volunteers here today, putting their neck on the line to get this education across to you, to get our opinions, our goals, and what we're trying to do across to you. And then there, if you know the American Revolutionary War, 3% actively fought the British. Actively fought the British. Just 3% of the population. Another 20% supported those 3%, but they didn't do anything except say, hey, we agree with you. I look at you guys, and I wonder, what are you? Are you the 3%, or are you the 20%? And I look at all the people that I've been meeting, and I'm wondering, what is holding the 20% back from actively fighting this with us? What is holding them back? How many people here are from Delaware County? If we had every single one of you in Delaware County working towards a common goal, getting constitutionally minded, elective offices, going out and educating your community, you guys would be a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
If we had a force like that in every single county across the state, we'd live in a different place.
Very much so.
When I go back home, I've got 3 beautiful kids, I've got a hard-working husband, I've got a nice, comfortable life. But I have to live in a bubble to ignore all the crap going on. So I'm asking you, how much do you do in this fight? What do you do? Do you like things on Facebook? Do you call your representatives? Do you put your neck on the line like we have, coming out and traveling across the state and making our opinions heard? This past year, like I said, I've met lots of people. I have put my neck on the line. I've gone out of that comfortable bubble that I was living in. I'm not afraid of the consequences of standing against an unconstitutional law. I'm not afraid of saying that I will not comply, and I'm willing to suffer the consequences of doing so. If we had every single one of you Delaware County patriots, and then all the other people that are here from other counties going into their counties and joining up with NYR in their counties, or joining up with NY2A or SCOPE or Oath Keepers or some sort of organization and actually doing something, we would make a difference in this state. So let's start this year. So I'm going to ask you before I leave, just like I'm going to go home and talk to A and ask him, what are you doing right now to make a difference? And if that answer is very little, I'm going to ask you, what is holding you back? When you leave here today, I want you to look towards the future. And then I want you to look at that comfortable life you're living right now and decide which one is more important. The life you're living now that you're comfortable and secure in, or that future that our children and grandchildren are growing up into? I choose the future. That's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for having me.